Ladies and gentlemen, Trump has unleashed ICE strike teams on Somalis in Minnesota after National Guard shooting. Holy smokes. It's like the best article of the day. Donald Trump has unleashed the illegal immigrant Somali strike teams after the shooting of 2 National Guard troops in D.C. Strike teams made up of DHS agents and other federal officers deployed into Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities, sources say. Around 100 officers across the U.S. have been deployed on a new crackdown, which comes after the president clashed with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Walz's administration is under scrutiny after massive fraud perpetrated against the state welfare agencies by Somali migrants. Some of the funds have ended up in the hands of jihadis in North America. Oh, just a small problem there, just in time for Christmas. Trump branded the Minnesota governor a retard and wanted Somali refugees to be completely taken over in Minnesota. The president is furious after Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom was shot dead, obviously rightfully so. This was an Afghan national, but nonetheless from a country similar to Somalia in the sense that it has the same adherence to Sharia law. It is antithetical to Western values. It is a hotbed for terrorism. It is a fallen and sunken society that essentially exists off piracy. That's Afghanistan and Somalia. And most importantly, when Somalis come here to America, they're not here to assimilate at all. They're not here to learn English. They're not here to observe Western traditions and customs. They're here to build Somalia here in America. Something I actually wanted to talk with Piers Morgan about. Like, at what point do we put an end? Like, at what point do you say, like, this is a failed experiment? This can't go on right now. President Trump saying that, and Tom Homan saying that the Twin Cities is going to see massive ICE crackdown. Let's go.
Secretary Noem just talked about just elevated their priority status. So, yes, there's going to be an increase of activity up there, and we're going to hold people accountable. We're going to enforce the law without apology. So, again, I've told every sanctuary city mayor, governor, you can stand aside and let us make your community safe and remove criminals. And even legal aliens that commit crimes that make themselves, if they're a resident alien, they commit a certain offense, a felony offense, even they're deportable and they'll be deported. We're going to enforce the laws of this country without apology, including in the Twin Cities.
When do you expect ICE to make its presence really known in the Twin Cities, Tom? Approximately.
I can't forecast that. I don't want to give up operations, but I can tell you that, Secretary Noem's all over it. I know ICE and CBP and other federal agencies, the FBI, DEA, ATF. President Trump's been a genius on this. He brings all of government to these operations. So if we arrest an alien with drugs, you got the DEA right there can prosecute the case before we deport him. If you get him with a gun, you got ATF right there to prosecute the case before we deport him. But I can tell you, focus is there. It's coming. But I don't want to give a lot. I can't tell you how many people are on the ground now, how many people are going to be on the ground. I'll leave that to the Secretary of Homeland Security. But focus is on those Twin Cities more because of the criminal activities been uncovered by DOJ and DHS.
And Tom,
here's something that always strikes me about what the administration is doing right now in their enforcement. They don't have to write any new laws. Isn't that amazing? There's been no new push. I mean, I would obviously, if I were to get rid of one thing, I'd get rid of Hart-Celler. This is the 1965 Immigration Act that said effectively that we're going to allow endless and eternal infinity third world migration. This is an obscene act, and no one, it's like the people who are responsible for it, it's Lyndon Baines Johnson, practically every modern evil it was perpetrated on our nation by Lyndon Baines Johnson through an act of, I think, deep state sabotage. I mean, Lyndon Baines Johnson was obviously an emissary of the deep state, was our first deep state president, assisted, killed his president, JFK. I believe that in my heart of hearts, that he knew what was going to happen that day, that he had a major hand in setting it up. I'd love for the American people to learn more about that. And that in order to make that blood libel life swap so that he could become president, which was Lyndon Baines Johnson's entire dream and purpose in life, an evil, godless man, truly a godless man. that what he then would use his presidency for is the pushing at scale, aggressively, and on a thermonuclear level, the policies of the deep state. And that's how you get the permanent welfare state in America today. That's how you get which of course led to the complete and total destruction of the black community. All of these policies, of course, have made America much worse, but you get the modern welfare state. You get the modern bureaucracy. You get so many modern bureaucracies out of LBJ. The massive and extraordinary increase here, you can see here, of third world immigration, because this Hart-Celler Act got rid of the quotas that we had on the third world, saying, hey, listen, like, these people are going to be incongruent with Western civilization. And they were right. But like this act, which again, this isn't to blame. I mean, you can't blame any modern generation for this, because in 1965, the people that were in Congress or the people that were in the Senate, they're long dead now. It's a totally different country then. And the ramifications of getting rid of all restrictions and then creating, what Hart-Celler did was create chain migration. So the point of Hart-Celler is that if you have an American here from a foreign land, that they can bring their entire family with them. That's the on-ramp to bringing the entire family with them. Like, all of the quotas be damned, all the numbers be damned. It won't count against the immigration numbers that we have. And so that's how you get hundreds of millions of legal immigrants into our nation because of this. And there's nothing racial about it. You can just look at the results. This country, and no country, has the capacity to absorb 150 million, like double the size of the country, without doubling the infrastructure, the housing supply, the food supply. The nation right now is creaking and breaking, and it has no end. So many of these immigrants then get on welfare. Of course, this is why we're $40 trillion in debt with no end in sight. Not because of the Pentagon budget. It's because of our welfare state. And you bring in people that never contributed to that welfare state. You're breaking the systems by doing that. And Hart-Celler is what did it. So I guess if there is one thing that I would get rid of, it would actually be getting rid of immigration laws, not passing more. The immigration laws on the books are all that's being enforced. Isn't that wild? Isn't that a wonderful thing? All you had to do was enforce the laws as they are written. Because, of course, the laws as they are written say you're not allowed to be a criminal alien in our country. You're not allowed to enter our country illegally. If you're here and your visa expires, you have to go. Like, these are just rules that we don't enforce at all. And that's all the Trump administration is doing, is enforcing the rules on the books. And judges go, that's racist. And that's why they lose time and time again at the Supreme Court, because it's not. What's actually racist is this act. This act in particular is racist against Native Americans. This act said we are going to flood the nation with immigrants from every corner of the earth, including the preponderance of third world immigrants that will be welfare recipients, and we're going to break all of the systems that are intended to protect you. The Native American that lives here, whose grandfathers died for this place, built this place, and screw you. You're not going to have any social safety nets. You're going to be priced out of a house. And more importantly, in times like BLM, we're going to force corporate America to fire white people and replace them with what? Peoples of color, I guess, what would be the correct term. You can see the statistics. Nearly 1 million white people lost their jobs in the corporate push of BLM after the George Floyd murders. Something like 1.3 million peoples of color got hired in their replacement. It's the great replacement. It's a matter of fact. It's numbers that they were proud of. And so that's just like prima facie, like, that's just racism. It's just racism against white people. That's why I asked Pierce the question, like, you said you'd trade white people for tiki masala. Would you trade any other group in your nation have lower waiting times at your precious NHS, or have less rape gangs? I mean, important questions, obviously. But yeah, I mean, listen, this, sorry for the rant here, but like this is a great generational evil. And it's not your fault. It's not even like if you're a baby boomer and you're watching this right now. Where were you in 1965? Like most baby boomers were either in diapers or in grade school in 1965. I know my parents were like 9 and 10 at this age. It's not their fault. It's actually the fault. It's that the people who passed this were the generation that won World War II. So why would you do this to your country? Exactly. You just fought a war to protect your country. Then just 2 decades later, 1945, we win the war. 2 decades later, you pass bills like this. What happened there? I'm doing a bunch of reading on it right now. I got to figure that out. You fought a war. Tons of people gave their lives to protect Western civilization and our ideals. And then you pass this to make sure that the nation in one generation doesn't reflect even remotely the country that you fought to protect. It's just a matter of fact. So what was that exactly? Why did you do that? We know who did that. So like, why? You want to talk about real self-loathing? Something we don't talk about. The greatest generation. Okay, not here to like, talk about rage bait. Obviously, they did great things, but there were also like some really bad things that happened that generation was manipulated and were conned and were lulled to sleep. And they haven't seen it. And if you take a World War II veteran, actually, we've covered this. If you take a World War II veteran, the very few that are straggling and living today, God bless them. Seriously. It's not like, I'm not like you're against them. But you take like those veterans from the great wars and you put them on TV, or you put a camera in front of them and you say like, what do you think of the country that you fought to protect? They'll all say, they'll say it to a man. What the hell did we do? They say it. They say it on camera. We have hundreds of clips of this. They'll say it to a man. Here's an English World War II veteran from D-Day. He says it's not worth the result. This is not what we fought for. This is worse than what we fought for. The things that we fought for, the boys that died over there, it's all gone down the drain. That's what 100-year-old veterans are saying now. Because they were lied to, scammed, because they were the first generation to be called racist. These policies are racist. They were the first ones to like observe that up. Like a quota is racist. You must have third world criminal immigration. Infinity, third world, not even criminal, legal migration. Here's another one. Noticing a pattern among the West with veterans broken by what's become of their countries, saying these aren't the countries that we fought for. Just another good example here. The same guy. This guy's like, no, it wasn't worth it. It's a World War II veteran saying, no, it wasn't worth it. Like, he says, I feel like a foreigner in my own country. What do you think that is exactly? Hart-Celler. That's what that is. So, yeah. Time to understand what has happened. Do we have enough time to reverse it? Meaning, do we have enough time to like repeal and act like this? Yeah, I mean, we should, frankly. Is there the willpower to do it? That I don't know. That I do not know, ladies and gentlemen.